Have you thought much about what happened yesterday, or would you prefer to just move on?
Yeah. I mean, our game was at 2 o'clock, so we had the rest of the day to really digest it and think about, had to think about. You got to think about it until the next practice. So, it was good to get that out of our mind today during practice and move on to the next one. We watched some film, went over some schemes and concepts that are going to be good for us going forward, and I'm excited for the next one.
Do you have to defend the pick and roll differently?
You'll find out tomorrow.
I'm sure there's a lot of tangible things that you can look at from that game that needs to be fixed, but how much of it does start on defense?
Most of it. They got wherever they wanted. They didn't really feel us defensively. Obviously, Brown was picking us apart. AD was awesome as well. So I feel like we just got to have more physical presence and make sure they know we're there early on.
And how much of the threat with Brian is not only his physical presence but his mental as well?
It's funny with that guy. It's a lot of both. It's a lot of both because obviously he's our game's greatest ever scorer, but his mind for the game is supreme to a lot of guys. So tackling him is a really hard challenge, but I think we're up for it. Obviously he got us last game, but it's hard to beat a team twice in a row on their home court.
You have to be more physical against him, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. From the jump, they were moving first quarter, without us even getting hands on them. So, from the jump, we just got to assert ourselves more and be the aggressor.
Is it more difficult or easier to make adjustments so quickly against the same team just a couple of days after?
A little bit of both. Obviously, it's nice because it's fresh on the mind. We've got film from last night. The guys are, you remember being a part of, remember the actions. When we're going over plays, you can put yourself right back in the play, but to the same time, they get the same benefits. So I think it's about equal advantage for both teams.
Have you thought about the home-road discrepancy with this team? You guys are dynamite on the road, and at home it hasn't been the same. Any thoughts?
We're not worried about it. We're not worried about it. We're just worried about we have one game to win tomorrow, and that's all we're worried about. We just got to defend our home court. Obviously, anything else doesn't matter at this point.
So Larry, Z was drafted first overall 5 years ago, and tomorrow he's finally going to play in a postseason game for the first time. How big of a deal do you think that is for him and for the franchise?
Look, it's a privilege to play in the playoffs, to play in the play-ins. It's not given to anybody. So I don't think the pressure doesn't lie on him. He shouldn't feel all that pressure on his shoulders. Like, it's not one guy. This is a franchise thing. This is a team thing. CJ should feel the same amount of pressure as Z should feel the same pressure as me and JV and everybody else. So I think this is a big game for the franchise tomorrow. But it's realistically we got 2 shots to win one.
Is the team in any way gratified for him, maybe just because of all he's gone through the first 4 years, and even the last 2 years when you were in the playoffs, he wasn't available, and now he is?
We're very happy for him to be on this stage, but again, there's no more pressure that lies on him than lies on any of the rest of us.
You think just getting that game under BI's belt is going to help just to kind of get him back in the flow, for this game coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, I do. I certainly hope so. Obviously, BI had some awesome stretches in that game, and he's been incredible for us all season long. So we're a better team with him on the court, but just when a guy like that comes back, both me and him coming back and playing, 25, 30 both, it's an adjustment, and so that's something that hopefully we got out of the way last night and can just push forward with this next one.
Larry, how much can the crowd help you if you guys get off to a giant start tomorrow?
The crowd would be great. The crowd would be great. It's you spoke about our home court woes this year, but having the crowd in it would be fantastic. But we got to be prepared for that sea of yellow that always shows up.